What's up, everybody, and welcome to ITG Daily, the show that brings you the hottest in gaming news. I'm Drew Bosa. You can find me on Twitter at ArtisticGamer28, and that's the one, the only. He's back. It's Scott Savage. You can find him on Twitter at Savage. Scott, welcome back, buddy.
Oh, thank you. It's good to be back. I came down with a serious case of the Mondays, but we're past that now.
That's right, because we're on to Tuesday, where you should be over here with us, joining us live over on twitch.tv/theofficialitg, as well as YouTube. But if you can't join us live, it's not a big deal. Hit us up later at insidethegame.ca, podcast services and TV streaming networks around the globe. Scott, coming up on today's show, Mario 64 sells for over $1 million. We'll get into details on that
64
one. I know, man. Oh, man. Silent Hill rumors continue, and Final Fantasy XIV sells out of digital copies.
Curious
What?
as to how that works.
Like, what happened there? Yeah, it's an interesting show already, man. Let's get going because we're on to a sealed copy of Super Mario 64 sell for $1.5 million. Becomes the most valuable game collectible ever. You think? Holy crap, Scott.
Yeah, that smashes the record.
Right?
That's an obscene amount of money for anything, in my opinion. But
especially for a game. A sealed copy of Super Mario 64 is sold for $1.56 million at auction, making it the most valuable game collectible of all time. The copy was sold on Heritage Auctions, and it broke the record of $870,000 set by a copy of NES The Legend of Zelda just a couple of days ago on July 9th. What is going on here? While the particular copy of The Legend of Zelda had a rating of WADA 9.0A, the copy of the Super Mario 64 had a rating of WADA 9.8A++, making it an almost perfect rendition of the cartridge in mint condition, Scott. This is so I kind of looked into like, what is this WADA thing, right? WADA basically is the verification company that lets you know, no, this is a legit copy of the game, and here's the condition standards it meets, and 10 being the best, so it comes up at 9.8 for Super Mario 64.
wow, that is. I'm glad it has the rating behind it, but that is still an obscene amount of money. When I had first heard of this, I believe I heard of this for the first time yesterday, and I was thinking about all of the things 1.5 million could buy you. and I'm pretty certain you could buy a Cessna
Oh, you
for
could,
about that much.
you could buy a lot of stuff. We got a quote. It says, well, we're a bit speechless on this one. Heritage Auctions description reads, well, we can even say that would do this copy justice it deserves. The cultural significance of this title and its importance of the history of video games is paramount, and the condition of this copy is just so breathtaking that we're really at a loss here. Scott, $1.5 million, Nintendo's Mario 64. Like, I'm just weird. I don't know.
Yeah, the Legend of Zelda that held the record previous.
Yeah.
I can understand that a little bit more, in a selfish sort of way.
Yeah, sure.
Because I'm such a fan of Zelda, I can understand that had a big breakthrough and it had its moment in gaming history. But I suppose Mario 64 did as well. I'm still trying to wrap my head around it, but it really stands out to some people.
Absolutely.
Clearly.
Yeah. I guess this individual wanted it real bad. So they have a mint condition copy of the game, which is just going to sit there on their shelf. So
that's my second consideration. I hope they sent them another copy to just play on top. Yeah.
Here's a free one you can play as well.
I hope it came with a Mario couch as well.
Yeah.
For that price tag.
Scott, we have Silent Hill rumors, but it's not by Blue Box this time. It's actually by Blooper Team. Responds to Silent Hill rumors, doesn't deny them outright. Blooper Team has responded to speculation that it's working on a new game in the Silent Hill series as part of its new relationship with publisher Konami. Dude, maybe Konami's slowly coming back. We'll get into that little tidbit as well. Blooper Team fans discover 3 projects in development at the studio known as H2O, Black, and Dumb Spyro has been cleared for funding by the EU. To date, we only know that H2O was Layers of Fear 2. Bloomberg CEO Thomas Galowinski has taken part in an interview with IGN, has clarified the scope of the team's project has changed drastically since funding applications were approved. Well, online speculation based on outdated or incomplete information can often lead to strange theories among gamers. No kidding. We've also applied for 2 other projects, codenamed respectively Dumb Sumo and Black. After numerous iterations of Dumb Spyro, we've concluded that we can't, at the moment, deliver it in the form that we are properly sensitive to the topic and commercial value at the same time. So I think what they're doing here, Scott, is that they don't want to get it over their head. I think this is the best move. Let's, maybe axe one of them and we'll focus on the other. And the other one, speculation now is coming in, that is Silent Hill. And when you talk about Blooper team, this is the team that's bringing us horror games left, right, and center. And they're coming at huge quality as well. So how excited are you, Scott, that they've partnered with Konami to bring B, Silent Hill?
Yeah, that's a great matchup in my book. Layers of Fear was an awesome title. Yeah, I haven't explored Layers of Fear 2, but I have a suspicion that it's just as high caliber. And that would be a very interesting company to run something like Silent Hill, whether it's Silent Hill by name or some other kind of offshoot creation. Sure. But this certainly makes sense if they're diverting more emphasis to that, more company funds and assets going towards that project. That would line up well with the Silent Hill theory. And if they're going to axe one out of the 2 of them, something codenamed Dumb Spyro just kind of... I suppose that's the one on the chopping block, really. I have questions as to what Dumb Spyro would be. My imagination is flying.
Right? Like, is it a sequel to The Medium? Because that just came out not too long ago as well. And that one, I think, really generated a lot of fandom as well. And it just seems like Blooper team they keep rising to the next occasion. So I'm curious to see what's up next. And if the Silent Hill, obviously Silent Hill is not for me, but there's a huge, fan base that's looking for something out of Silent Hill. We've seen the Blue Box kind of tease Silent Hill and Kojima, the whole conspiracy theory going on over there. That seems to be hopefully under the rug now at this point. And now that Blooper team's partnered with Konami, does this open up other partnerships, Scott, for Konami to bring back Metal Gear Solid?
Oh, that's the big one. That would be nice. Well, I was thinking if perhaps Blue Box and Blooper, how funny would it be if they're both working on a Silent Hill?
Yeah, no. I can't see that one happening, buddy. But
that would be a little strange, but
absolutely, that'd be really weird to see if that actually happened. I think the whole Blue Box kind of the way they're releasing tidbits of information and their new game Abandon is really what it kind of comes down to. I know we're veering off topic here, but I want to talk about it quickly because they're ready to launch a new app which will allow you to watch the trailer of Abandon.
Oh yeah, that's right. I remember seeing something about that, I believe yesterday, but that's a couple steps extra than the normal typical teaser release.
It's just like, who does that? You ever heard of YouTube? Why wouldn't you just put it there or on your website? It doesn't. Or you're making more steps. It doesn't make sense.
Or do I have to upload my credit card information before it'll let me watch the trailer? Is it that degree?
Credit card, serial number.
This isn't, if EA released an app, I would suspect that, but
sure,
this is quite different.
Absolutely. Speaking of EA, Scott, well done, buddy. Respawn has 1 or 2 people working on fixing Titanfall hacks. It's been a weird time for Titanfall fans as of late. The original game has been unplayable for months thanks to a series of hacking attacks by unknown predators. This led some to actually counter-hack Apex Legends, Respawn's other first-person franchise. To convey this frustration, it remains unclear how long a Titanfall fix will take, but Respawn's community manager, Jason Gorza, says that the studio has 1 or 2 employees working on the issue. 1 or 2? You think you might know how many people are actually working on it, but either way, people are on it, which is a good thing. In a live stream video post over on June 28th, Gorza shared his thoughts on why Respawn hasn't been more vocal about the Titanfall hacks, which remain an issue after Respawn patched Apex Legends back to full functionality. One viewer on Gorza's stream began a comment by saying that Titanfall community, quote, is at our wits' end and feel abandoned, end quote. Gorza replied with, "You're not abandoned. It's a game of whack-a-mole with us. The thing is, I don't want to say we're working on it because, yeah, we're working on it. You can only hear it so many times before it becomes useless. But we are working on it. It's just admit, like, what else do you say, Scott? Honestly, right?"
Yeah. Oh, there's there's one way I could see them playing out of this. As much as I love Titanfall, and it all begins with Titanfall 1.
Yeah.
If it's totally unsalvageable, just give us a Titanfall 3.
Maybe.
You can say you're working on it with 1 or 2 people, but how about you devote 1 or 2 dozen people and just give us a Titanfall 3? Because the hunger is clearly there. The Apex is always going off. There's huge numbers in Apex. I don't think that's really at jeopardy.
No.
And there's still enough of a fan following in Titanfall to initiate DDoSing hacking attacks. That suggests to me that there is a fan base there, and we all want to see a Titanfall 3. I think I can say that unanimously across all Titanfall fans. Number 3 would be very, very well loved.
I think so, right? It'd be much appreciated to see that franchise continue, because that's what you said. We've now moved on to Apex. Dude, I got a bug flying through my... Go away. I'm working, people. So it's just Titanfall it seems to kind of gone dormant, which is a little disappointing, right? We've seen Respawn just out of nowhere launch Apex, and it blew up, and it took over basically their main focus. So it's nice to see them continue on with Apex, but I think there is another team that they should be hopefully building towards and bringing back another version of Titanfall. And if that's going to continue, dude, I can only suspect they're also working on another Fallen Order sequel, right? They've got to be working on Jedi Fallen Order 2 or whatever the next title is going to be called. Cal's story's not done, that's for sure.
No.
So
yeah, they opened a great universe to explore with their last title there.
Yeah. So you know, Respawn is a busy team, and when these hacks come up, it's just unfortunate because they're not necessary, you know. So, but dude, I don't remember last time I played Titanfall 1 or 2. Like, it's been that long. We move on quickly in this industry, right? So, but there are diehard fans that stick around, and that's all they play, and that's what they want to play. But for
Titanfall 2, unfortunately, just had a very lukewarm reception, not an incredibly large launch, and I think that really slowed down the expected time on Titanfall 3. It kind of diverted all their emphasis onto Apex, and that makes sense as a business. Yeah. But there is also this thing that we can almost go 0 days without mentioning. That would be Game Pass. If they released it onto Game Pass, it's almost a guaranteed several million people would jump in and try it out. And especially if there's Apex, Titanfall kind of linkage going on,
sure,
I think that would work out very well.
Well, that's just it, right? Like Brad and I were talking about it yesterday, how one studio in particular has really done well because of it, right? Their Hunt Call of the Wild game has shone through. So Avalanche is able to introduce people to a game that a lot of us probably would never have tried. But because of Game Pass, they're pulling everybody in. And they had 20 pieces of DLC that carried over. And didn't carry over with Game Pass, but influenced enough people to purchase those pieces of DLC. So it helps them expand their business, right? So it's worked out really well. You see Game Pass growing in a lot of places and a lot of places right now with studios, and they're just kind of wanting a piece of that pie because it opens up their audience reach to other levels that they probably wouldn't obtain otherwise.
Oh yeah, the $80 price tag is enough to push away a lot of consumers.
Sure is.
So we've seen the success of anything on Game Pass, really.
Yeah. Scott, what's pushing away consumers right now is Final Fantasy XIV because it's sold out as popularity surge causes server congestion. All right, this one comes as noted by YouTuber Skill Up. Square Enix has taken the step to halt digital sales of the game temporarily, stating that the game is sold out on its website. Final Fantasy XIV has sold out even digitally as Square Enix wrestles with a massive surge in popularity. Dude, you can't buy the game right now. Like, even a digital version of the game will not get you in. Servers are overworked. They're bogged down. Like, it just suddenly has just seen this massive resurgence in the game, and everybody's trying to jump on board and nobody's getting in, to the point where Square Enix now has to take to their own website and says, We're just sold out. Sorry.
Yeah, it's a bit of a weird concept having a digitally sold item sell out. That just
Yep.
because it's not really gone, right? But it's
Exactly.
when it comes to server side management, it just I suppose if it costs too much to set up a whole new bank of servers to accommodate a whole new group of people, and it would be less lucrative for them in the long run. So that does make sense. But I think this comes on the heels of the Final Fantasy Origins being teased and announced.
Sure.
And everybody who enjoys Final Fantasy just kind of got super psyched. And in the meantime, 14 is kind of the place to go. It's the MMO. So that it makes sense as to why they're seeing this much traffic, but I've never heard of this in my life.
No, this is definitely
being sold out digitally.
Yeah,
Silly.
a unique thing, right? The servers are just so bogged down right now that they don't want to sell anymore because people just can't get into the game. It's a weird thing to see. Scott, I want to jump ahead to a couple other articles here. I want to get into Elite Dangerous because I know you're a fan of this, and there's some things going on over here right now. With Elite Dangerous is currently in turmoil, and the developer Frontier Developments is taking steps to get the situation under control. The recent Odyssey update caused issues, leading to frame rate drops, buggy planet generations, and other issues. Fixing up Odyssey has changed the timeline of Elite Dangerous's other updates, and fans have been frustrated. What's going on right now is that they've actually pushed back Elite Dangerous Odyssey update for consoles to who knows when. We have no idea when that's coming right now because they're focused heavily over at Frontier to get the PC version up and running to a state where people can get in and hopefully play the game. Scott, have you jumped into Odyssey yet?
Actually been avoiding it specifically because of the bugs that I've heard of.
Yep.
It's turned away a lot of long-term fans of the series, so I know it,
For sure.
it must be quite a severe issue. I want to see it. Is one of my favorite games of all time, actually. Yeah. So I want to see the update when everything runs smoothly, and I want to be excited for it. So it looks like I still have a little while to wait yet. Frontier is very slow with their movements, so they're very deliberate. If they say they're working on it, I absolutely believe that they are. And it's just a matter of time. And for something or a company like Frontier, they can take a year and not think too much of it. That this is kind of their baby. So if they really want to see it work out properly, I think it will take some time. But it's unfortunate to console players that the option to test it just isn't even there.
Well, it's just like I remember you being so pumped when they announced this. And when you're developing all these games, like there's a lot of Q&A that goes into all this stuff, right? Like there's a lot of Q&A testers that go in here. And I wonder if they just, once it finally released, it hit a server peak. And then that's where the influx of new players really started to find all the bugs. Because when you're developing a game, you only have so many Q&A testers. So you can't find every single bug until it's really out there in the wild. Now that it's out there, everybody's on it, and there's a ton of problems right now. So hopefully they'll get it sorted sooner than later, and then console players can jump in on it as well.
Yeah, well, and I know this Odyssey marks, they call it a season of DLC, a season of expansions. So it is unfortunate that they're slowed down releasing subsequent updates because their initial update just kind of caused bugs. That's very unfortunate, and I hope to see what they're working on after this. I'm still excited. It would take a lot more than these bugs to push me away from that game.
Sure.
So, but I'm curious as to what their season entails, really.
Awesome. Scott, why don't we get into game releases, updates, and announcements for today?
Yes, well, today we have some updates coming to some newly released or announced titles. That would be Truck Driver Heading North. Now, that is Sodesco is the company behind that. And they announced an upcoming Nordic-expired DLC called Heading North. This is supposed to launch in September of this year.
Nice.
And there is also an update coming to Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War, and that is called Mauer der Toten. Not sure how my German sounds. Zombies map and Warzone's newest objective mode is part of Season 4 Reloaded, and that will be launching July 15th. very soon. TennoCon attendees will experience interactive preview of the upcoming Warframe expansion, The New War, and that is happening on July 17th. I haven't heard too much about Warframe in a while, so this is interesting.
They're huge. Like, Warframe is just massive, or like, it's just, what an incredible game. My brother's on it all the time. He's still playing. I'm like, dude, what are you playing? Warframe. I'm like, man, do you play anything else? Warframe. I'm like, oh my god.
There's an update. We haven't talked about Fortnite in a while, but there is an update coming to the world of Fortnite in the form of LeBron James, which is very interesting. He is the MVP, global icon, gold medalist, and he is now a part of Toon Squad. I'm excited for that movie. LeBron James is joining Fortnite's Icon series. He will be available in the item shop July 14th, and I'm sure we're going to see a lot of LeBrons running around in the world of Fortnite. That's the way it goes.
That's what we need, is more little LeBrons running around.
Here's one that's very interesting too. A game that you and I reviewed.
Absolutely.
Maneater, The Truth Quest. Conspiracy theories point to August 31st as a launch date.
Sweet.
Yes, I'm excited about that one. That will be an update that is coming to basically everywhere you can find the title. That is PC, PlayStation 4, PlayStation 5, Xbox One, and the Xbox Series consoles.
Is it on Nintendo Switch? Did it make its way to the Switch?
I thought so by now, but I'm not 100% familiar enough to say if it is. I haven't seen it myself.
I can't remember. But dude, we had a blast playing that game over on Xbox. I cannot wait to jump back in. You actually 100% in that game.
I did. I totally cleaned it up, and I jumped in to try and play some updates, but they weren't there yet, so I was a little disappointed in that. But it's okay. It seems like it is shortly coming down the line.
Yeah, absolutely.
And lastly, we have Watch Dogs: The Bloodline DLC is now available.
Nice. We also have Curse Space Blast on the Nintendo Switch today as well. Scott, just to wrap up the daily show. Everybody, that is going to do it for us. Scott, what are you jumping into here for a list of games? Anything there kind of catch your fancy? Obviously, I'm thinking Maneater.
Maneater is definitely one, but I did last night even play some Warzone for the first time in a long time.
Nice.
So I am kind of excited to see what changes are coming to the world of Warzone. It's something that I like to keep up on.
No, that's for sure. Have you ever jumped into Truck Driver?
No, not familiar with that title.
No, me either. I jumped into Watch Dogs Bloodline. Steve and I are checking that one out for the show, so I've been enjoying myself. It's nice to be back into the world of Watch Dogs, and Aiden Pierce is back, which is the highlight for me. So definitely cool to be back there.
Oh yeah, that's cool. I'm glad to see more content coming to that title because it was a very interesting one at the time.
Absolutely. Scott, that's going to wrap up today's show. Everybody, thank you for hanging out with us over on twitch.tv/theofficialITG, where you can always join us live as well as YouTube. But if you can't hit us up live, hit us up later at InsideTheGame.ca, podcast services, and TV streaming networks around the globe. I'm Drew, that's Scott. We'll see you tomorrow with ITG Daily.